YouTube, hello, welcome back to a Pokemon TCG Pocket card opening, and we're gonna be reviewing the new set, Triumphant Light, which is an Arceus related set. Very excited, I've got enough to open 10 packs, because I finally went through some of the solo battles that I'll be honest, I just haven't been doing. So I did have a lot of pack hourglasses just chilling, so we're gonna do 10 packs today, and then I'm just gonna look through the individual set, just kind of look at all the cards, see what they all do, and we'll go from there. So 10 packs, here we go. Whee! Let's see what we get. Hopefully we get something good. Oh, a sound, 2, 3 sounds. Okay. Starting off strong. All right, we got Sudowoodo, Fighting Headbutt. If your opponent's active Pokemon is an EX, does 30 more damage for 1 energy, 80 health. Not bad, pretty good. Got an Eevee, Snorunt with Icicle, Bronzor with Ram. I almost said Bam. And, oh, just the illustrated Arceus. Let's go! Oh my God, on the first pack? This is so cool. Oh my God. I'm just gonna take a screenshot of that real quick. I gotta brag after this video's done. All right, there we go. Oh my God, first pack magic, baby, let's go. All right, we got Noctowl, Silent Wing. Your opponent reveals their hand. Oh, fun. Okay, that's not too bad. I like that artwork too for the Noctowl. This is a new Zubat, okay. We've got Gibble, another Gibble, huh? It's Hoot art. All right, Hoot. Oh my God, Leafeon EX. Let's just hit back to back, sure. Forest Breath. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may take a grass energy from the energy zone and attach it to one of your grass type Pokemon. Interesting, oh, that's really good. So more grass type energy ramp and an already really heavy ramp deck, so that's really good. Nice, that's not bad at all. Meryl, that is so cute. Oh my gosh, I gotta stop swearing, it's a Pokemon video. That is so cute. Oh my gosh, that's so good. A new Krogunk, Sneakin', a new Clefairy, that's cute too. Medicham, Kick Shot, flip a coin if Tails' attack does nothing, 1 energy for 80 damage is a lot though. And Fion, Water Pulse, and it's automatic sleep. That's pretty good. 2 energy, it's a lot, but still. Auto sleep for 2 is not bad. For a basic Pokemon too. Staraptor, okay. Brave Bird, this Pokemon knows it does 20 damage to itself, 130 damage for 3 is pretty strong, 150 HP is pretty good for stage 2. Staravia, 1 energy for 30, not bad. Burmy, go away. Burmy again? And Noctowl. Staravia, Azumarill with Waterfall, not bad. A new Ghastly, Astonish, flip a coin. If heads, your opponent reveals a random card from their hand and shuffles it into their deck. Love that. Mothim, so you got Gust instead of Wormadam, nice. And Vespiquen, Reckless Charge, this Pokemon does 30 damage. Oh, it's just Brave Bird. Way less HP, but it's a stage 1, so that makes sense. Nice. All right, we got Zubat, we got Krogunk, Sudowoodo, Meditite, that's a cute artwork too. And Magnezone with Resilience Link. You have an Arceus or Arceus EX in play. This Pokemon takes -30 from attacks with 3 energy, Power Beam for 80. Not bad. Not bad. With Dialga in the game, and Arceus is a normal type, right? Dialga can ramp this up pretty quickly. So getting the 3 energy isn't quite as bad, and 80 power or 80 damage is not necessarily difficult to reach. So nice, we'll take that. Larvitar, oh my God, Tyranitar's in the game, let's go. Oh, I saw Tyranitar, that's right. Corkscrew Punch, okay. Pupate!
Pupate, do you get it because
you wouldn't happen to have a Pabst Blue Ribbon on you? Yeah.
I can't stop thinking about Pupate. I'm trying to get it out of my brain, it's not working. So I actually do play Pokemon Go, as some of you know. And so Pupitar is, or more accurately, Tyranitar is very useful in Pokemon Go. It's one of the top rock type attackers in the game. So I caught a Pupitar and it actually had pretty good IVs, so I kept it and with intent of like evolving it, and I made it my my buddy for a little bit. And so Lilly, Kitty Roar on Twitch, really doesn't like the word pupate from like Resident Evil 2 when Claire says there's no telling when they'll pupate. So I nicknamed my Pupitar Pupate, so that when she sent me a gift in Pokemon Go, it would say that my buddy was named Pupate, and I laughed much harder than I probably should have. Anyways, Pikachu. We don't have to name it Pupate, it's fine.
No, we do, it's fine. For the content.
For the content, woohoo! Pupate.
Okay. There you go, chat. See that?
Welcome to the squad, Pupate.
Son of a bitch. Okay.
Pupitar, Zubat, Bronzor, and just why not? Why not a full art Probopass EX? Because why not, right? Look at that nose! It's coming for you! I can't even read this on the screen. Let me see what it says. Defensive unit. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes -20 from attacks. Okay, that's pretty good. That's just like the Golem effect. But Golem's is 4 energy and does 120 damage. This is 3 energy, does about 90. That's about right as far as energy per damage per energy. So pretty good. Not bad at all. Golbat. Snover with Corkscrew Punch. Staraptor again. New Mawile. Iron Beam Breaker. Your opponent's active Pokemon is a Steel Pokemon. This attack does 30 more damage. Okay, so it helps with the mirror matchups. That's cool. Heracross. Interesting. Single Horn Throw. Flip 2 coins. If both of them are heads, this attack does 70 more damage. Okay, so it either does 50 for 3 energy, which is not that great, or it does 120 for 3, which is actually pretty good. Yeah, all right, cool. Not great, but it's all right. Snover, Corkscrew Punch, Nose Pass, Tackle, Krogunk with Beat, Sudowoodo, and Iridia. Heal 40 damage from each of your Pokemon that has any water energy attached. That is so good. What the hell? That is so good. So normally this would only be like a 40 heal for your active Pokemon, right? Because not always are you like, you know, throwing energies all over your bench and everything. Water type is specifically the exception for that, because Manaphy has the ability to just throw energy onto 2 Pokemon onto your bench, and then, you know, Vaporeon has the ability to move your bench energy onto your active Pokemon, meaning that you can have water energy on all of your Pokemon without much of a downside and heal them all for 40. So that's pretty good. Phanpy, that is so cute. My goodness. I love that. Rollout. There's Zubat again, Medicham, Starly. And why not? A full Art Unknown. Not my first one, actually, because I wonder picked one from a community member. With shout outs to Lisa, thank you so much again. And you know what? I'd say for a 10-pack, we did okay. I think that was fine. I think that was okay. Just, you know, the illustrated rare of the set. That's fine. That's fine. We could have did better though, right? I mean, we could have gotten an EX card, right? I mean, that would have made things better. Or, I mean, we could have gotten a full art EX card. I mean, that would have been really cool. Or even better, if we'd gotten another full art rare, like that would have been a pretty cool card too, right? But, you know, who am I? I mean, that was really good. That might be the best 10 packs I've had in this game. That's crazy. So I did do some wonder picks to try to clear out some quests that are in the game right now. I also did one of the free packs before this recording, because I didn't want to lose recharge time on the free packs. So I opened a free pack offline. I did record that, and I'll throw that in here. It wasn't anything super great, but you'll be able to see it on screen here. Like I said, nothing crazy there. It was just a couple of, you know, the new cards, and that was it. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're going to go check through that particular set and see what all of the brand new cards are. So we're just gonna read through it. We did this with the last video as well. I just like to go through and see what all the effects are. I think it's cool to go through and see the effects. We'll go ahead and add into to be able to see the increased rarities. So we'll be able to see all of the things that have rare cards and rare illustrations and stuff, and the gold cards and stuff. we'll be able to see all that as well. All right, so we've got Combi, which makes sense. We haven't seen Combi, but we did get the Vespiquen. We already saw that. We're good to go there. We got Cherubi, gets Leafage, which means we've got Cherim. I did see Cherim already. I think that was one of the things that I opened. Let me go ahead and redo this because I'm a silly boy that fat fingered my the bottom of my phone screen. Sorry. I think we were here. Yep, here's Cherim. So there are two Cherims, by the way. There is a Cherim that is not fully bloomed, and then a fully bloomed Cherim. So the not fully bloomed Cherim is a Worry Seed that automatically confuses for 1 energy, which is pretty strong. And then there's a bloomed Cherim, which is 2 energy, but you get Leech Seed, which does 60 damage and heals for 20, which is pretty good. Obviously, with the way that the game is right now, a lot of really, really strong basic EX Pokemon, something like this doesn't really stand a chance in most of the matchups you're gonna have. But it is a cool card. I do like it, and Cherim's one of my favorite Pokemon. So Carnivine's a rare in this one. Power Link. You have Arceus or Arceus EX in play. I'm not gonna read that every single time. We're gonna assume that anything that has Link in it is for Arceus. I'm just gonna say attacks do 30 plus damage to your opponent's active. So instead of Vine Whip doing 20, Vine Whip does 50. That's okay. Yeah, for a basic, that's not bad. Got 80 HP. That's not like a super high amount. I think the Delmise from the Mythical Island, I think it's called. Mystical Island. I forget what the name of it is. The M Island. I think that Delmise is a little bit better. Just because it has a little bit more HP, and instead of having to have another Pokemon in play, it just needs a certain amount of energy to get up to 90 power, and that only costs 2 energy with the Superior in play, so that's a little bit stronger than this Carnivine is. Leafeon EX we've obviously already seen. Houndour we did see in a previous pack opening. We get just a 1 energy, 20 power, no big deal. Houndoom gets Corner, which is the same attack that Arbok gets, and with the same base HP. So this is essentially just a fire version of Arbok, which is great. So we might be able to make another, because you know there's Salandit and Salazzle are poison. So Salandit, I think, does the poison, and Salazzle has Venoshock. So you can actually do a very similar strategy to the Wheezing Arbok deck, the Dark type deck, in Fire now, which is cool. Heatran has a Link effect as well. This Pokemon has no retreat cost. Okay, cool. Cool, that makes things that'll make things easier then. 110 HP is really high for a basic Pokemon that's not an EX. This Pokemon has damage on it. This attack does 40 more damage, so for 2 energy, it only does 40, but if it has any damage on it at all, it goes up to 80 damage. And if Arceus is in play at all, whether it's basic or the EX, you get to retreat it for free. So really, really strong. This is a really good defensive unit to get your stuff set up and get your stuff online. So really, really good Heatran there. We've seen Meryl, we've seen Azumarill. Barboach is in the game, okay? And that means that Wishcash is as well. Gets Thrash. Flip a coin. If heads, its attack does 60 more damage. If tails, it does 20 damage to itself. That's Thrash, all right. I will say for 140 damage, 4 energy is a lot. I've mentioned this before in the last video that I did, and I'll mention this every time whenever we're talking about water type decks. There's so much ramp in water decks right now, and in grass decks too, now with Leafeon in the game, and Superior that already existed. Because there's so much ramp in water, it's a little bit easier to get to this 4 energy than it would be otherwise. So although I tend to believe that 4 energy for 80 damage at the, worst case scenario is not very good, it's still feasible, it's usable, right? Snorunt we've already seen. Frostlass is in the game. So Blizzard, 40 damage to 10 to all opponent's bench. Not bad. 40's kind of low for 2 energy, especially because it has 90 base HP as well. That's a pretty low HP stat. This is not a great card. Being able to hit your opponent's bench, especially with Cyrus in the game. Cyrus is a trainer card that pulls opponent's weakened Pokemon onto the field. So say somebody's trying to set up a Magikarp, but they don't have a Gyarados yet. You could use Blizzard and then use Cyrus to pull it onto the field and take it out. So that's an option, and it's only 2 energy versus the Articuno EX, I think is 3. But yeah, 40 power is just a little weak in terms of a base power for the attack though. We've seen Snover. Abomasnow has a Link effect as well. This Pokemon costs 1 less energy to attack. Okay, cool. So it would only be 2 water energy for 80 power. This is very good, right? Because even for 3 energy, 80 power is fine. Like I think 90 is kind of where the accepted breakpoint is, like a 30 damage per energy for a stage 2 or a stage 1 rather. But going up to 80 for what will almost certainly be 2 in the decks that you make around Abomasnow is very good. Unfortunately, it's in water, and water has a lot of really powerful threats. So how much you'll use this is, you know, whatever. I don't get into metagaming when it comes to this game. I just like to have fun with the cards. But you can certainly build a deck around this for sure. Glaceon EX makes sense. Snowy Terrain. During Pokemon Checkup, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, do 10 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. That's cool. And then 3 energy for 90 damage is good. 140 HP is good as well. Not bad. Not bad. Origin Form Palkia. It's Zone Smash. Flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 60 more damage. Does 60 damage base. 120 HP. Good basic Pokemon. Has the ability to do 160 damage, but at least 60 damage right off the rip. Again, 60 is a little low, but getting a cap of 60 with the coin flip is pretty good. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. We already seen Fion. Pikachu. Spark. This attack also does 10 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. That's pretty good. Obviously, it's only good if they have a bench Pokemon on the field. Otherwise, it's just an attack that does 10, which isn't that great. But yeah, not bad. Raichu gets a Link ability. This Pokemon takes minus 30 from attacks is really good. And then it also gets Spark, but it does 20 damage to your opponent's bench instead of 10. And the Spark attack does 40 damage. Not bad. Not bad. Pretty tanky overall, honestly. Because remember that these minus damage effects happen before weakness effects happen, right? So like you should be able to, well, and I guess it doesn't really matter in this game, right? Because in the game that I played, it used to be multiplied when I played TCG. I played TCG when I was, you know, when red and blue were a thing. So so this plus 20 instead of times 2 is all new to me. But minus 30 damage from attack is massive. That basically negates the weakness effect, right? Because weakness only does plus 20. This basically negates any weakness attack that you would take, which is dope. That's really good. Electric, which means we're going to get another Manectric, or just a Manectric. This might be the first Manectric. Gets Flash. During your opponent's next turn, if the defending Pokemon tries to use an attack, your opponent flips a coin. If tails, this attack does not happen. It's the same thing as Smokescreen. It is good, right? It is good, but they can just retreat. So it's not that strong, but for 1 energy, 40 damage isn't too bad at all. Obviously, with the state being a stage 1, it's not great, but it might be able to help you clear out some of those like 1, 2, 3 diamond challenges for some of the solo battles. So something to keep in mind. Might be able to cheese your way through because the CPU doesn't really switch that often. So something to keep in mind. Stop Clefairy. Clefable gets Moonblast. During your opponent's next turn, attacks using by the, yep, minus 30. That's really good as well. Obviously, again, like I mentioned before, usually you like to see 30 damage per energy. So seeing 60 damage here is a little bit lower than you would expect. The minus 30 damage is great, especially with the 100 base HP. And only 2 retreat costs as well, which is actually pretty low, considering that it has 100 base HP and it's a 3 energy attack. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Not good, not bad. We've seen Ghastly. Haunter gets Mumble, just does 40 damage, not bad. And then Gengar, also 2 energy, 70 HP or 70 damage, and it puts him to sleep. That's very good. That's very good. Obviously, getting to a stage 2 is really difficult in this game right now, and this is our 3rd iteration of Gengar. Not including including the basic one from Apex and as well as the EX from Apex. But this one is really, really good. The other one was a little bit nichey. It just stopped them from using the, what's it called? Supporter cards. It's interesting that that's the direction they decided to take with Ghastly, or with Gengar this time around. Given it an actually pretty powerful effect. This is a lot less nichey. This is a lot more offensive. So, interesting. Unknown we've already seen has Check. Once during your turn, you may choose either player. You get to look at the top card of that player's deck. So, obviously for your sake, this is great because you can kind of make a play based off of what your next card is going to be. When your opponent runs out of cards, you get to know exactly what their next card's going to be before they even have a chance to see it themselves. So then you can play around that effect immediately. So this is pretty good. I don't know how often this will be used, if it's going to be used at all, because even when basic Pokemon are being used in Psychic decks right now, they're usually for card draw, something like that, versus knowing what's coming up next. The cool part about this too is you can pair this with Mythical Slab and check the top of your deck and see, oh, there is a Psychic type Pokemon on there, and use Mythical Slab to automatically draw it, which is also very good. Yeah, so it's a cool effect. I don't know how often this card will be used, but it is cool. Rotom gets a link effect as well. No retreat cost again. Dash attack. This attack does 20 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Not bad. The bench Pokemon effects are usually pretty good. How often this will be used in Psychic, because again, Psychic has a lot of threats, remains to be seen, but still, not bad. We've seen Sudowoodo, we've seen Fanpy. Donphan gets Rolling Spin. During your next turn, this Pokemon's Rolling Spin attack does 60 plus damage. This is the same thing as Overdrive Smash from Togetic, but instead of being a stage 2 Pokemon, it's a stage 1. 120 base HP is pretty good. Obviously 120 damage is pretty good as well. Yeah, not bad, pretty good. Larvitar, we've seen Pupate. Tyranitar gets a link effect. Attacks by this Pokemon do plus 30 damage. And it has Land Crush for 130, so this does 160 damage for 4 energy. That's very, very good. That's very, very good. 160 damage will take out a lot of EX Pokemon in this game. So that's a very strong effect for a Pokemon that is not an EX. So very, very good for a stage 2. Got Metatype, Metacham, Gibble. The next Bite is just 30 damage, not bad, with 80 base HP. And then Garchomp EX. So 1 energy, this attack does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. That is very, very good for 1 energy. My goodness. That is very, very good for 1 energy. It's a stage 2, so it's gonna take you a while to get there. But for 1 energy, that is very strong. 50 damage to your opponent's bench Pokemon, or it's 70 if it's super effective to the base, to the active. And then having a 100 power 3 energy move is also very, very good. So yeah, this is a great EX Pokemon. Obviously, stage 2 Pokemons are really difficult to use in the current game as it stands today. But yeah, pretty strong. Zubat, Golbat, I imagine we get Crobat. Cunning Link. Once during your turn, if you have Arceus, you may do 30 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. That's really strong, because you do not have to have this in the active slot. You just have to have this on the bench. So you can have an Arceus and a Crobat on the bench, and every turn you're just doing an additional 30 damage for free. So this is very similar to, what's it called? Greninja's Water Shuriken ability, but it requires another Pokemon be on the bench, which is why the damage is a tiny bit higher. And it's in Dark, which is great. And Crobat only needs 1 energy to be able to use things, which is really, really good. Dark has a lot of Pokemon like this where their energy costs are not very high for the damage that they deal. While also having a lot of like disruption abilities, to like the corner effect with Arbok, poison with Weezing, smoke screen with the other Weezing. Now you've got an ability to damage the opponent's active from the bench. Very, very good, man. The dark type cards have a lot of power, just in a different way than some of the other types in the game. Toxicroak gets Toxic. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poison. Do 20 damage to this Pokemon instead of the usual amount for the special condition. So yeah, so this is obviously very, very good. The one downside is, again, they can just switch, which means this leveled up ability can do 20 damage with one energy, and then they could just switch out. Obviously that does give you some level of control over the field, which is there's some power there. But if it doesn't really give you any kind of power, like if they have a water deck like Vaporeon, they can just retreat their Pokemon, use Vaporeon to move the energy to the new active, and just knock out Toxicroak. So it's not bad. I don't think it's very strong though, but it's not bad. It's an interesting ability. If this was tied to an ability instead of an actual attack, then you could use some similar attack like the Koga effect with Weezing to be able to switch into Arbok to then stop them from being able to switch and let the poison tick down. But yeah, it's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. Obviously, we've got a Steel type Magnemite and Magneton to match with our Magnezone. All that makes sense. Probopass EX we already saw, but that's the standard one there. Bronzor we saw, which means Bronzong is in the game, gets a colorless Psychic. Interesting. So it's a Steel type, but it's a colorless Psychic attack. So obviously Psychic is the same effect. It does more damage to every energy that your opponent's active Pokemon has. So yeah, the fact that this is colorless though means that this Steel type Pokemon can be featured in any type of deck. So if you ever wanted to have something in your deck that was a specific counter to a high energy deck or a high energy effect, so like let's say your deck is very weak to Celebi, you can put Bronzong and Bronzor in your deck and have them be a Celebi counter for the times that you need it to be a Celebi counter. So that's a very interesting. I love cards like this because it makes for a lot of really interesting strategies. Origin Form Dialga gets Time Mash. Flip a coin. If tails during your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack, but it does 100 damage. That is very good. Considering the fact that the Dialga EX 100 damage effect that always works is 4 energy, this is very strong. Because no matter what, you're still going to get to use this 100 damage attack, and it's still going to hit. But if you hit tails, you can't use it next turn, but then you can just retreat for 2, which isn't terrible at all. So, interesting, very good card, very, very good card. I don't mind that at all. And obviously Dialga EX can pump that up too. Giratina is a dragon-type Pokemon with Crisis Dive. Discard 2 random energy from this Pokemon for 120 damage. It's not bad, and Grass and Psychic are very interesting energy types to have, because the truth is that both of those energy types have a lot of ramp, right? Like Psychic, Grass, and Water are the ones that have the most ramp in the game right now. At least the most reliable ramp in the game, between Gardevoir, now the Leafeon EX, Superior, right? The list goes on. But to be able to get these energies on, it doesn't take quite as much in Grass and Psychic as it does in, say, like, I don't know, Steel. Like, Steel also has Dialga EX, but you have to have an EX to start ramping in Steel, or Fighting, where the only real ramp is Brock, right? To get onto Golem and Onix. But yeah, interesting, because this is an attack that's very, very strong for a basic Pokemon. Again, just like the Dialga one, 120 power is pretty big. I think I like the Dialga a little bit better than the Giratina. And since there's no resistances in this game, it is worth noting that the 100 base damage and just you might not be able to use it in the next turn is probably a bit stronger than losing some of your ramp, right? But noting this doesn't have a weakness. This card doesn't. So that means they have to get through 120 base HP with no extra gimmicks or anything. Makes this a very strong tanky card. Yeah, not bad. Snorlax. Collapse. This Pokemon is now asleep, but it does 100 damage. And that's pretty bad. Snorlax maintains not being very good, but you know what? Hey, it's at least on brand. It's at least on brand. We saw Noctowl already. We've seen Starly in the Staraptor line. Shaman's in the game again. Sky support. As long as this Pokemon is on your bench, your active Pokemon's retreat cost is 1 less. That's good. That's good. It's colorless. 2 energy for 30 damage is not that good. 70 HP is not that good either, and the effect is just okay. This effectively gives you like axe speed at all times, which is fine. And retreating in this game is very, very helpful. But I can't see a deck immediately that says like, ooh, I need Shaman in order for me to be powerful, right? Regular Arceus, Power Blast. Discard a random energy from this Pokemon, does 100 damage. For 4, that's a lot, honestly. That's pretty expensive, considering that that some of the other basics that are at the same HP range, right? Like Origin Form Dialga, the Giratina card, they all have effects that go online at 3 energy and do either the same amount of damage or more. This is not an incredibly good card. The power of this card, though, is the fact that it is able to exist in decks that can ramp it up, while also having Pokemon in those decks that get more powerful just because this Pokemon's on the bench. So that's where the strength of this actually comes in. It just has a 100 base power attack on top of it, which is obviously, you know, usable, right? It's fine, it's good. And discarding 1 energy is not that big of a deal. Obviously, as a colorless Pokemon, it doesn't matter what energies are attached. So yeah, it's definitely got more power than it seems this one does, but not an overwhelming attack. Obviously, we've seen the Arceus. I didn't actually read the effect though. Babel Buster. This Pokemon can't be affected by any special conditions. Ultimate Force. This attack does 20 more damage for each of your bench Pokemon. Very similar to the Pikachu attack, but this has 70 base power and then can also deal an extra 60 more if you have 3 bench Pokemon, meaning it goes up to 130 damage colorless, which is pretty good. 130 damage is pretty high. That's higher than most 3 energy ceilings in the game. So very, very strong. Nothing wrong with that. 2 energy to retreat. Obviously, this also has the same ability where it can, you know, stop or give your new Pokemon from this set, the Triumphant Light set, can give them extra effects, can give them, you know, better or no retreat cost, right? This is a very, very good card. Very, very good. Then Iridia we've seen. Celestic Town Elder is one of the cards that I pulled before. This one puts one random basic Pokemon from your discard pile into your hand. This is very, very good if you're trying to build like I'm building a Gen 4 deck, right? And you want to build just around Dialga, Palkia, Arceus, and Giratina. Very, very interesting this ability is, because you can just get those back to your hand, and those are all power cards, right? So very interesting card. I get the feeling we're probably going to see this more often than we won't with the EX cards that are available in TCG Pocket. But yeah, I bet this card is going to be a powerhouse down the road as power creep continues to go into the game. Oh, Barry's in the game. During this turn, attack used by your Snorlax, Heracross, and Staraptor use. Now that's interesting. Now all of a sudden that Snorlax ain't so bad, huh? And neither is that Heracross. And Staraptor just became a lot more threatening. That's interesting. Because if you go second, you in theory, on your third turn, which would be turn 6, could be firing off a full blast Staraptor attack. Even if you went first, it doesn't matter, right? You'd still be able, on turn 5 or turn 6, you'd be able to fire off a Brave Bird using Barry. That's crazy. What a cool card. Very niche-y, obviously, and you'd have to build your deck around it. But if you did 2 Snorlax, 2 Heracross, 2 Starly, 2 Staravia, 2 Staraptor, right? And then all trainer cards and supporters after that, that could work. That could work. What an interesting card. And then Adamant during your opponent's next turn, all your Steel-type Pokemon take minus 20 damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. That's obviously pretty good. This is a really good like anti-Blizzard card, anti-bench card, like so things that could like spark attack that does damage to your bench Pokemon. This can stop that extra damage going onto your bench. So it's better than it seems. We'll have to see how much people actually use those abilities. Otherwise, it's just minus 20 on your active Pokemon, which is still fine. But taking up a card slot for minus 20, it's basically like Potion, right? So it's not terrible. But it's one that you can only use one of these per turn, the supporter cards. So it's a little bit more difficult to justify. But yeah, not bad. Not bad. Houndoom's got a full art. Meryl's got a full art. I'm excited to see that. Sudowoodo's got a full art, Magnemite's got a full art, Shaman's got a full art, Leafeon EX, Glaceon EX both have specials. The EX cards will have specials, that makes sense. Arceus EX also has a full art as well. Iridia and Celestic Town Elder and Barry and I assume Adamant all have full arts as well. Leafeon EX also has a special full art, so does Glaceon EX, that makes sense. Scarchomp as well, Probopass as well. Oh, this would just be these are rainbows then. These are rainbows then. Leafeon, Glaceon, Garchomp, and Probopass. Those will all be rainbows. Then Arceus with the illustrated, and then obviously Arceus also has a gold. So yeah, that's the entire set. I gotta tell you, man, this set's pretty fun. Got some new fun stuff to play with. I'm excited to build some decks around Barry, I'll tell you that. I think that would be a lot of fun, just to go into some random battles and, fart around with Staraptor and do things like that. I think that's really cool. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you like the video, comment, and subscribe. If we get enough to do some more pulls, maybe I'll do another 10 pull of this set and get some more cards added to the collection. Make another video out of it. Not obviously, I won't read through the entire set again, but let me know what y'all think about the new set, about Triumphant Light. How are your pulls? Let me know if you're able to get anything fun. I appreciate y'all watching. If you haven't already, you can check out all the other Pokemon content we've got on here, including my reaction to Pokemon Presents. We also did a full-on predictions where I just went through and predicted some stuff. I may have gotten quite a bit of it right, to be absolutely honest. We also have SoulLinks on here, some challenge rounds when I did a Nuzlocke and Pokemon Black. I've also done SoulLinks, 2 of them. Pokemon Crystal, which was a randomized Nuzlocke SoulLink with my friend Lilly, and then Pokemon Y, which was also with my friend Lilly. Both of those playlists are here on YouTube, and the Pokemon Y, the last episode, just uploaded 2 days ago. So you'll be able to watch the entire series of both of those. Appreciate y'all watching. Hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and as always, we'll see you again in the next one. Have a great day, YouTube. Bye!